extras from the episode that we just did with Sue on business disruption and regional and rural models. So I'm going to go to the questions. Before we go to the questions, during the live webcast, we had a question about a book that we referred to. The book is called Resilience, and the author of the book is Andrew Zolli and Anne-Marie Healy. So just to answer that question as well. All right, Sue, let's get to these questions. Seb asks, do you feel the community is engaged with local farming? How can this relationship be fostered further?
I think through education and promotion about what your point of difference is to more conventionally larger production methods.
Yeah, so it's a point of difference. It's describing what it is that you've got that's unique.
Yes.
Yeah, which, as you say, each region has got unique characteristics, like we're talking about France and its provenance in a way that it protects that regionality.
And different environmental requirements too, depending on the climate.
Okay. Next question is Justine asks, can you explain a little bit more about regenerative agriculture?
Regenerative agriculture is quite a big movement at the moment. It's where people want to farm without the use of chemicals, and that they want to be able to improve the land around them and have the environmental outputs as goals on the same level as producing wholesome food.
Okay, and you spoke about an American journalist and agriculturalist. Is that in that space?
There's quite a few.
But there's one that you referred to that,
What we've got now is, I guess, the father of agricultural modern day journalism, called Joe Saladin, has been to Australia and several times, and most people are in awe of the changes he's made to his food supply.
But there are
and
others,
recommendations.
but he's one leading thinker.
Yeah, he's very popular, and I'd certainly recommend any of his podcasts. He's got some really funny and entertaining and informative books on this issue.
All right, well, that might help you, Justine. Dan asks, how does Farm to the Fridge drive the community connection?
Farm to Fridge allows the producers to stay connected on a weekly basis instead of just opening the gates every 3 months.
Okay. Jamie asks, do you know of any similar offerings in the Hunter region of New South Wales?
I think there's quite a few good pockets of excellence in different regions, and that works for them well. There's some slow-grown, wholesome food markets every fortnight in Maitland that are widely supported by a range of really good quality producers.
Yeah. Other than Serendipity Ice Cream, which we spoke about, are there any others that you could highlight?
Port Macquarie has a new food hub where they're working with their local producers, because unlike the slow-grown food market, they were providing to the restaurants in Sydney and found a great vacuum that they wanted to fill. So they're working together also to connect each other, and I think that's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, what are your thoughts around greenwashing?
Greenwashing or food fraud. There's a lot in terminology, so I think it's always useful to explore definitions, like if something's grass-fed, what's the requirement for it to be on the grass? Is it 20, 30, 40% before it goes into a feedlot?
Are you willing to give us a sense of that, say in chickens? What happens there?
I think about 3 years ago, Choice did a wonderful job of educating the consumer on how the new definition of free range didn't follow the CSIRO national code and standard of 1,500 chickens per hectare, and it was changed at the time by the government to 10,000 chickens per hectare, which is literally standing room only, and they didn't even require to be on grass. So I think the word free range is kind of not what consumers expect it to be anymore, and they should look for words like pasture raised. Have the animals been grass fed? Have they been free to forage with their flock?
So like you say, the consumer perspective is so important. So to get to that point, there's so many layers, isn't there, to get what does that definition really mean?
Because grass-fed to one producer, their animals might have been on the grass the whole time, but for others, they might have only been on the grass 40%, then they were shipped off to be finished to be at a food lot. It's not very clear, some of those definitions.
Thanks, Sue. Okay, next question. Do you think there is a way that small producers can be customer certified because they have an open gate policy and complete transparency? I know we had a conversation about that.
Yeah, some of the Feed Trail core values are about open transparency with their community. And when we open the gates at least several times a year, the community is able to visit, in most cases for free, talk to the farmers and go on a tour of the farm and just see for themselves how they farm. And then more recently with our online food trail on the 26th of April, which is on the Great Lakes Food Trail Facebook page, all the videos of the farmers, they take you on a tour of the farm so you can still see, but online, how they farm, which is really important because it goes to provenance and credentialing.
Full disclosure. Yeah. So
You
tell
have
us
to be
about
able to
that provenance
disclose.
credentialing thing, because there are local markets. It's
Unfortunately, not all markets credential their producers. I think markets are a great avenue for people to connect with many producers, and but markets are more worried about whether you are registered or approved with local councils, which is correct and should be, and whether you're insured, which is important. But they're not worried about whether you actually harvested your own eggs or whether you bought them in. So you get big producers in there that are giving the impression that they're local, but they aren't always.
Yeah, okay, good heads up. I've got a question which is not up there, but it's from Joanne on our team, because many people I know have been looking at the idea of growing their own stuff at home, and one particular question Joanne had that you answered for us earlier was about chickens and chicks, and she was going to put a hot water bottle in with her chickens, but your suggestion was what? What do you really need to do?
There's nothing wrong with a hot water bottle if you've only got a few, but to keep them warm through the night, they have to be, there has to be no draft. It's tricky with chickens, they need ventilation, but a draft will kill them when they're young.
Yeah, okay. All right, and just to clarify before we close, Melanie Albert posted on YouTube Live that Hunter Region has Slow Food Hunter Valley, based in Maitland, which Sue would be aware of, with fortnightly markets and a list of all local growers on their Facebook posts. So that will close us out today. We'd like to thank everyone again for being part of the webcast, particularly Sue and her insights, the team here at the Business Centre, the Business Connect program, and we'll close out from there. Thank you, everyone.